Matters, Senator Aisha Binani has advised her supporters threatening to leave the APC to remain calm and loyal to the party's constituted authority. She made the plea during her visit to Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Senior reporter Owolabi Adenusi found in this report.
All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in the last general election in Adamawa, Senator Aisha Binani, will be visiting the state after the Independent National Electoral Commission declared Governor Ahmadu Fintiri as the winner of the election. Her return to Yola attracts political supporters. Addressing the crowd, Mrs. Binani commends their loyalty to the party.
Everything in life is about patience. And party, for the fact that the party has given us a platform to even contest on its platform, it has done so much as far as I'm concerned. My duty to make to ensure that, to enlighten my supporters of that, so that shouldn't anger them to the extent to say that they want to leave the party. No, we should remain in that party, build the party, and see how to forge ahead. We will pray to Almighty Allah to guide us on what's next to do.
Some APC chieftains loyal to Mrs. Binani and Mr. Nyako want her to contest for the 2027 governorship election.
We are not leaving APC, but we are not happy with the leadership of the party. We are not happy what is going on, because this party have come for 1 month's affairs, of which we are not going to agree. And we are in APC, we will remain in APC. We are not leaving APC, but we must fight. We must fight to the last.
We have some support in the system, which makes some people feeling hungry to leave the party. Because if you see her speech today, she's still well firm with the APC in the state.
At the end, Senator Aisha Binani distributes rice and other food items to thousands of her supporters from the 21 local government areas of the state.
The women's wing of the People's Democratic Party in Taraba State has thrown its weight behind Lois Emmanuel, the women leader recently elected during the PDP State Congress. The women, however, disowned the splinter group advocating for the replacement of their elected representatives. Again, senior reporter Owolabi Adenusi reports.
The emergence of the former Commissioner for Information and Reorientation as women leader of PDP in Taraba State was greeted with protest from some women in the party. But that did not stop the swearing in of the women leader along with other elected officials of the party on August 31st, 2024. However, this women group from the PDP are out in large numbers in show of solidarity for their leader.
She deserves these seats. That is why Kefas bring her. Madam Lois is a woman of integrity, yes. The woman of sincerity, yes. The woman that stands. When she says it is well, yes. It is well. Yes. That is why Kefas, His Excellency, brought her. Yes. Because he knows she's the one. She's capable to Taraba. Yes. That is why they brought her in that seat. So my advice is, don't give me fish, but teach me how to catch fish. Yes. Madam Lois, she's somebody that will teach you how to catch fish.
She's fully PDP. She didn't work for PDP. We are all sworn in together with her. She's a competent woman. We know she's a woman that can never receive nonsense from anybody. She will face anything that comes to PDP, and that's why we like her. Anybody who wants the truth must like Madam Lois.
The group asks those who are unhappy with the party's choice to sheath their swords and join hands with the new leadership of the party to gain more grounds.
We like her, and she knows how to go with women. Those women that protest, lie against her, that she don't know how to do, we know that she's capable to do. And anybody that our governor brings to us, we are together with our governor. And my message with them, they should come, we join hands together and move Taraba forward. Yes.
Governor Agbu Kefas, after the state congress that produced the new state executives, appealed to aggrieved party members to put behind their grievances and allow the overall interest of the majority to prevail.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to discuss PDP as Minister of FCT, Wike, and others face disciplinary panel of the party on allegations of anti-party activities. Please stay with us, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. It's been 8 days since the leadership of the PDP announced that it has summoned the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, over alleged anti-party activities. Wike was later to face the Disciplinary Committee of the party, chaired by former Minister of External Affairs and elder statesman Chief Tom Ikime. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, stated that the FCT minister was summoned via a letter to appear before the committee, which was put in place by the party's National Working Committee. He said PDP had been inundated with petitions against Wike and other party members, bordering on allegations of anti-party activities and sabotage against the party. Tonight, let's speak with one of Wike's loyalists, Dr. Samuel Wanosike, former chairman, Ikwere local government area of Rivers State. Dr. Wanosike, thank you so much for joining us this evening on Politics Tonight.
Thank you for having me, madam.
Right, so first, can you confirm to us that Honorable Minister Wike has received any letter summoning him to appear before the Disciplinary Committee of the party?
There is no such thing. I'm just hearing it from you. No such letter has been written to the Honorable Minister of FCT, who has been doing well for the people of Abuja and for the people of Nigeria, and rebuilding FCT and making the renewed hope agenda a hope that the people of Abuja and Nigerians can see that is working. These distractions are just unfortunate, especially being carried by those who are not even members of our party. But for the purpose of this interview, I want to tell the general public that I was once the spokesperson of the party in Rivers State before I became an elected local government chairman. And so I've served even at the national level in various committees of our party, and I know the workings of our party. And if you even check your sister station, particularly Arise, a member of the disciplinary committee, Senator Lakawogu, was on that platform, and he said clearly that this committee that was just recently inaugurated, which he is a member, is yet to even meet to organize properly its activities, look at the terms of reference that have been given to them by the party, and fashion out ways of which the party can be built properly. You know, there are two committees that were inaugurated, Reconciliation Committee and Disciplinary Committee. So as far as we are concerned, and the truth is that no such letter of invitation has been written to the FCT minister, and the FCT minister is a bona fide member of the People's Democratic Party, a strong pillar in the party, and is doing his best to make sure that PDP is rebranded properly for a better tomorrow.
Right, so I'm very surprised you said you're hearing this for the first time. But if I'm to preempt you tonight, I know you have hundreds of reasons why you think Wike should not face the disciplinary committee. But do you think this invitation is more of a disciplinary action or a means of reconciliation, given the tension going on within the party in your state, Rivers?
Madam, there is no invitation. Let me repeat again. If you, as a media personality who is an anchor to this program, has a letter to show to the public, because for you to make this statement, you should have been having a copy of this letter with you. Can you please ask your studio to show to the people of Nigeria?
So, Dr. Wanosike, this
told you here.
Means you didn't get my question. Kindly hold on. I mean, when we started this interview, I confirmed from you whether or not there is a letter. So you have said there is no letter. But I'm saying that this invitation, I mean, is everywhere in the public. This invitation, do you think is more of a disciplinary action or for a reconciliation purpose? That's the question I'm asking. I cannot substantiate whether there is a letter.
In answering your question, I have said, first of all, there is no invitation, no letter issued to Wike, and you cannot invite a leader of our party verbally. That's the point I'm trying to make in answering this question. Such thing does not exist. In fact, in one media outlet, I heard recently that the man they are saying that made the statement, he's saying that the media took him out of context, that he never said so. So I would believe that this should rest the matter so that we can move forward in our discussion. There is no invitation. Wike is one of the bright stars of the party. He's a man that has stood for the party since 2015. Even before 2015, don't forget, as soon as Goodluck Jonathan lost the election, a lot of our leaders abandoned the party. But Ezeboye Wike rallied round with other leaders and made sure they rebuilt the party. I remember when I was locked up as a party chieftain in Rivers State, when our party wanted to hold convention in Rivers State, and the then governor, Rotimi Amechi, refused us access to one of the venues called Shark Stadium. And the police came there and said, we cannot hold our convention. We had our convention in our state office to show that PDP is not a party that can be pushed around. We are a party, one of the biggest parties in West Africa when it comes to talk of democracy. And so, for us, Ezeboye Wike is one of our best, and he's doing well for the party. He has shown to the world that him as an individual has the capacity to work for the people of Nigeria and has the capacity to support an agenda he believes in. He believes in the renewed hope agenda that is led by President Muhammad Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that agenda is what he's standing for. Because it is clear, when he was invited by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he didn't just jump into the activity or the job. He wrote the state chapter of the party, intimating them of the invitation. He wrote the zonal party, also informing them of the invitation by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He wrote the National Working Committee, also informing them of the invitation by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come and join to rebuild this nation, Nigeria. And they all give their nod. So when we see people come and say things they don't have information about because of envy and jealousy, or because a lot of them felt that Nyesom Wike wouldn't have been able to do well 1 year in office as Minister of FCT. But unfortunately, he has disappointed them with his actions and activity. He has shown them that he has the capacity, that what he did in Rivers State when he was governor was not a fluke, like we say for those who play snooker. It's not a fluke. It is a deliberate, well-thought out plan and action and activity. When a man means well for his people, he can put his ideas down and make it work for the people. So that's where we are.
All right. So we're going to have this conversation based on the report out there. First, based on the two committees that have been set up, a reconciliatory committee and a disciplinary committee, because there are some of your members standing by the words of Ibrahim Abdullahi. Some of them say the minister has called this, or they have called this, a witch hunt. And I'm wondering the possibility of anyone witch hunting Nyesom Wike. Is that even possible?
Well, if you're envious of a man's success and you're envious of a man's achievement, you can decide to play any role. Most unfortunately, is a lot of people that have been speaking about these issues are not even members of our parties. When you look at elders who have been on the national news calling for Nyesom Wike to be called to order, Nyesom Wike to be removed from PDP. Nobody will remove his best player in a team when he wants to win an El Clasico. For instance, for football lovers, if Real Madrid is playing with Barcelona and Messi is on the team, you come and tell the coach of Barcelona to take Messi out of the team when you have a team like Real Madrid to face. It's not possible. PDP knows that Ezeboye Wike is one of their brightest. He doesn't just mouth it. He's a man that is passionate about whatever he believes in. If he's convinced by a program, he gives his all. This is a man that said clearly that I am a member of the People's Democratic Party and I will continue to work for the People's Democratic Party. I will leave this party. And who is he going to leave the party for? Is he going to leave the party for those who ran away from the party when it mattered most? For instance, some of our leaders ran away to far outside country and watched Ezeboye Wike and other leaders rebuild the People's Democratic Party before the 2023 election, only for them to arrive few nights to the primaries to the election, and because they believe they are experts in winning primaries, they decide to change the rules of the game and do play all manner of games to create the crisis they created in the party. So for me, what we should be talking about as People's Democratic Party is reconciliation, not
Let me come in here because you've called this all sorts of names. You've called this all sorts of names. You've talked about jealousy, you've talked about envy. But the fact is on ground that Wike supported the APC in the 2023 presidential election. And a member of the National Executive Committee, that's Timothy Osadolo, has confirmed that the call for Wike's suspension was vehement and quite intensive. So are you saying that your principal has a right to some of the things he did, like supporting the APC presidential candidate, now President Bola Tinubu, against his own party's candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
That is the best decision he has ever taken as a politician, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I am one of those that cried and pleaded with him to say, sir, looking at all the presidential candidates, irrespective of what has happened to us in our political party, the best person, the best man for this job to bring Nigeria out of this dungeon that the previous administration has taken us to is Bola Tinubu. And it is the best that has happened to us. If you know the story of Rivers State and what is happening in Rivers State today, you will know that God came out himself to convince our leaders, the Wike, to support Bola Tinubu to become the president of Nigeria. Not to bother. Just this evening before I came to your studio, I heard the Minister of Finance read out what is like an economic shock to the people of Nigeria, the pricing of our bond. It shows clearly that the difficult decisions that a lot of leaders were afraid of taking by the previous leaders in the past, that President Bola Tinubu has taken, is going to be yielding results in the nearest future. Yes, there is hunger in the land, but we knew. Even the president himself said it when he took that decision. He said, these decisions I'm taking is going to be hard, but it's better I take this hard decision now, we feel the pains together now, and we come out to rejoice in the nearest future. So as far as we are concerned, we can never hid it. He said it from day one that we agreed in the People's Democratic Party. Our leaders met in Asaba, hosted by the former governor of Delta State, Dr. Kowa. And the leaders agreed that the presidential power should be shifted to the south, not having had their 2 terms in office under President Muhammad Buhari. We're all Nigerians. And based on that agreement, that is where we stand. But it's unfortunate that, with all due respect to the governor of Bauchi State, when he was given an opportunity to carry out an assignment in a committee, rather than being very prompt in taking his decision, he decided to dilly dang with it because he had a political interest to be president too. So what did he do? He zoned the presidential ticket to the to the southeast and to the northwest where he comes from, so that he can have an opportunity. And
Dr. Wanosike, Nigerians are aware of Nigerians are very aware of that. But let me create a scenario here. As a member of the PDP, if you're summoned today to decide on an instance where the party found out that a stakeholder of the party in Rivers State worked against the PDP by supporting and campaigning for APC's Tony Eko, or let's say Beatrice Itubo, who is of the Labour Party, what advice would you give both committees?
First of all, before I will even give my advice, for every action that is an equal and opposite reaction. A man built a party. The party took a decision and said, this is where we're headed to. And we are saying you cannot have the presidential ticket in the north and still have the national chairman in the north. You must let one go to the south to create a balance. We as politicians will have to campaign. We'll have to tell our people, this is where we are, and this is where we're headed to, and this is the love we feel from our political party. And so, when there's a boys on Wike and the other G5 governors, we are screaming to high heavens. It is simple. Our target as People's Democratic Party, it is not to hold the office of the national chairman. Our target is to win the election. Having seen what has happened as a national convention, there is no problem, but a sacrifice needs to be made. We expected the presidential flag bearer then, Atiku Abubakar, to say, I have gotten the ticket now. We need to bring the house together. You're my friend, you need to step aside. Only for us to lose all the elections. After losing the election, then are you now left? So the question is, are we going to talk about Nyesom Wike? I have answered your question, ma'am.
So what advice would you give either the Reconciliatory Committee or the Disciplinary Committee? What advice would you give them? If you're called today to give an advice, what advice would you give them?
Just like
because there are those who have said the personality of Nyesom Wike should have just left the PDP.
For who? Who is going to leave the PDP for? You asked me a question on what advice will I give to the Reconciliation Committee.
Answer that.
The advice I will give to the answer I will give to the Reconciliation Committee is just like the acting national chairman has said: let bygones be bygones. Let's move forward as a team. Reconcile all aggrieved parties who have made mistakes in the past that have cost us the national election. Let's all come together and move forward and rebuild our party. For us, there are those who even did worse things. Remember when Jonathan was in power, there were leaders of our party who openly said, we are part of those that removed Jonathan from office. And nothing happened to them. In fact, they had to go and change our constitution to say, our constitution used to say you must stay in the party for 18 months before you have opportunity to run election. But because those people are signaling that they are about to come back to rebuild the party, they amended our constitution to say you just have to stay 1 month in the party. For us, the Reconciliation Committee needs to say, let the bygone be bygone, let's rebuild our political party and move forward as a people. And that is the answer to the question, madam.
But really, is the neutrality of the committees a concern to you and your principal? Because the conversation out there among political watchers is that perhaps Mr. Wike has been overrated and should have been expelled from the PDP long time ago, but for the weakness of the leadership of the party at both national and state level. What's your take on that? Two questions now.
Those who are saying those things, the question you ask them, what contribution have they made to the growth of the People's Democratic Party? As I'm speaking to you, I'm able to say that all elections that we have been involved in, the local government where I come from, Ikure local government, my state, Rivers State, PDP has won all. That makes me a voice in the party and a critical stakeholder. Nyesom Wike is the most important critical stakeholder because he has delivered in all spheres for the People's Democratic Party. But look at those that make those statements. PDP have lost election in their states, in all the elections, both in 2015 and in 2023. So for us, we just see that as noise out there. When it comes to the business of politics, we know those that will take their statement very important. Leaders like Nyesom Wike are strategists who are like star players in a team, and nobody will toil with their star player. If a man is saying, oh, Nyesom Wike is overbearing, the question is, all the things Nyesom Wike has talked about, are they right or wrong? Are you saying that it was right for in 2023 that PDP should have the national chairman from the north and the presidential candidate from the north? Is that what our constitution says? No. The answer is no. So those who have actually committed anti-party crimes, we know them. At the appropriate time, if they are called upon, they will answer to their stories. For us, we are not part up, we are not bothered. We are focused in making sure that whatever opportunity we have to serve our nation, our state, we give our best. Like I had opportunity to serve my local government, I gave my best because what's important is the record you leave when you are given an opportunity.
Dr. Wanasike, let's look at a statement made by the minister during the PDP Congress in Rivers State. The minister said he would put fire in the state of other PDP governors who are focusing on Rivers State. The question here is, does the minister have what it takes to put fire or cause any political chaos in those states? And what exactly does he mean when he said put fire?
First of all, we're all politicians and we have political language. You know, you as a media personality, you have your language. There are media language you will use to push your points. For us as politicians, the statement Nyesom Wike, the Minister of FCT, has made, it is a statement that politicians understand. There is none of those PDP governors that does not have a position in his state. Let's start from the chairman of PDP Governors Forum. the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Ningi, and the former Speaker of National Assembly, Dugara, they were all members of the People's Democratic Party. But somebody chased him out of the party, and this is the governor himself. Even the last Congress that had, the last state Congress, he didn't even allow them to nominate an ex-officio. So he's aware. He knows that as a player, there are those who are looking over that are behind him to take the ball out of his leg. And if his fellow politician in the person of Ezeboye Wike is saying, as long as you have interest in creating crisis in my state, by making statements that you give political structure to the governor of Rivers State. The governor of Rivers State, unfortunately, is not a politician, he's a civil servant. And he is aware that political structures are not being dashed to people. For instance, we had a NEC meeting, and the National Working Committee addressed NEC, and they said, we are going to have a caretaker committee run the party since all our officers' tenure has elapsed. And from today from social date henceforth, we have started sales of nomination form for the contest in the various positions in the forthcoming congresses. Meaning, if you're interested in holding office, do come and purchase your form. While that process was on, the governor was seated there in Government House, carrying on other activities that he felt that was important to him. Maybe he forgot that there was no place in the Constitution of People's Democratic Party that it was written that the governor of the state is the leader of the party. It is not in our Constitution. But Ezeboye Wike, as a man who is a full-blown politician, knows that he has to encourage his supporters to go and obtain nomination forms to contest those positions, right from the ward level to the local government level and to the state level. And all as enshrined in our PDP Constitution, Section 82(3), all of those statements written there were all adhered to by supporters of Ezeboye Wike who were interested in holding political office. Like, for instance, I myself, I obtained nomination form to be a national delegate. And on the day of election, I contested that election and I won. And as it is today, can somebody come and tell me that the national delegate from the Ikwere local government will be another person because one governor from another state said they should take it away from me? It is not possible. That has been done and the appeal committee has rectified it. So it's a matter that has been overtaken by events. So for as far as we are concerned, some people will say, oh, they had a court injunction. What court injunction? You went to a state high court.
Dr. Wanasike, you just said
an activity that is conducted by a federal authority. Where does it hold water? It doesn't hold water.
Wanasike,
so as far as we are concerned, that statement we are made to politicians and they know that the statement is not a joke. If they insist in involving themselves in the crisis in Rivers State, they will also get such a bash in their state because those people that are after them.
You say that language is something politicians understand, but Nigerians do not understand that kind of language, and that's why it has caused political debates across the country. Many are disappointed about the tone and choice of words, even politicians, because we have someone like the leader of the John Nation, Chief Edwin Clark, has asked Inspector General of Police Kade Wetokun to arrest the minister over his threat to set fire to states under the control of PDP. We also heard PDP Deputy National Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi confirming that comments made by Nyesom Wike were wrong and unacceptable. So what do you make of these calls by both men?
First of all, I find it very difficult to talk about our elder statesman, by the grace of God, somebody would call that blessed with longevity. I can't remember him being a member of our party. And again, to talk about the statement, as a politician, that statement was made in a political forum. And Ezeboye took his time to explain that statement. It was on a live television. You can go and replay it. Your station, we are there. And so if you want to make, so how do we say it, an anthill into a mountain, that is your business. The message has been passed to those governors who are politicians who understand. They know. From when Ezeboye Wike made that statement, they know the consequences of that statement. And the question we need to ask, and you need to help me ask those governors, where were they when this crisis broke out in Rivers State in People's Democratic Party? What contribution did they make in the emergence of Similala Ifubara as the governor of Rivers State? And again, I want to also say, are they saying that they were the ones behind the fueling of the crisis in our state by engineering my friend, the governor of Rivers State, who decided to create crisis for himself rather than to focus in governance like we all agreed in our political family? If they were the ones, well, it's unfortunate. They have peace in their state. He does not have peace in his own state. But as far as we are concerned, as politicians, the statement made by Ezeboye Wike is correct and appropriate, and they have better heed to that advice. Because it's simple. When you try to create crisis in a man's house, other people too have the opportunity and ability to also create crisis in your own house. That you're a governor today, you won't be governor forever. You also will have a successor one day in the future. And so, as far as we are concerned, we are saying political structures are not being dashed to people. People work hard to make sure they get political structures. What's the political structure? Getting men and women that believe in your ideology and that support your vision and to make sure your goals are achieved.
All right, Dr. Wanosike, we need to move on to other matters quickly. But before then, is it possible for you to agree with me and other Nigerians who have said there is a way you speak as a governor and you may get away with it in a country like Nigeria, but as an honorable minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, there is an acceptable means of communication because you now represent the president and it must show in the way and manner you do things. So would you accept that perhaps Minister Wike should have done this better or coined those words appropriately?
Well, first of all, for those who are trying to create an impression before Mr. President that Ezeboye Wike made a statement that was not presidential, it's unfortunate. Mr. President is a politician. Mr. President is a well-rooted and grounded politician, and he understands what is happening in the Nigerian political play. Mr. President, don't forget, when President Buhari became president, had to sit down as the leader of APC in Nigeria to manage the political party while President Buhari was running the government angle of the democracy they were heading. So he understands. So he also knows that it was wrong for those governors to make the statement they made when they know that democracy is not an event. Congresses of a political party is not a one-day activity. It's a process. And if there's anybody or any group of persons that should be called to order, it is the statement made by Bola Mohammed on behalf of the PDP governors, because it shows clearly that they don't have respect for over 3,000 plus delegates who voted in the PDP Congress in Rivers State. While in their states, they had their congresses, and nobody have said that, oh, they are going to stop their congresses and they will hand over the structure from their states to an individual that they are opposed to. Everybody has who they are opposed to one way or the other. Everybody will not agree in the political idea you hold. So Mr. President understands that it is politics, and the statement he made does not mean that Ezeboye Wike, who is a Democrat, who believes in the growth of Nigeria, who wants Nigeria to grow to a level where international community will have respect for us, will go around creating the crisis they are trying to paint. No, he just sent a warning to politicians like him in his political party to say, let your hand out of my state. Allow the democracy being played according to the rules of our constitution as is stated in our Congress.
All right, Dr. Wanosike, let's go on a break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone.
The month of September, it is dedicated to childhood cancer awareness. On the 8th of September is the International Literacy Day. On the 9th of September is the International Day to Protect Education from Attack. The 10th of September is the World Suicide Prevention Day, while on the 11th of September is the remembrance of the bombing of the World Trade Center in the United States, popularly known as the 9/11. On the 15th of September is the International Day of Democracy. On the 16th of September is the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. The 21st of September is the International Day of Peace. The 23rd of September is the International Day of Sign Languages. The 26th of September is the World Maritime Day and the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. On the 27th of September is the World Tourism Day. On the 29th of September is the World Heart Day. Stay tuned to TVC News for this reports and analysis.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight I've been speaking with Dr. Samuel Nwanosike. He's the former chairman, Equatorial Local Government Area of Rivers State. And tonight we're talking about the PDP as Minister of FCT, Wike, and others are to face disciplinary panel of the party on allegations of anti-party activities. Dr. Nwanosike, thanks a lot for staying with us on the program. Let's go back to this structure issue because you've raised it earlier before we went on break, and I see that Minister Wike is also very particular about this structure thing. First, some do not see anything wrong in these governors putting in some words by supporting a fellow governor in distress. And some of your former allies won't stop saying the structure Minister Wike is talking about is not really structure. They say this structure was built and nurtured by former Governor Peter Odili. I think I've said this to you before. Also recently, Chief Olabode George is also insisting that Governor Fubara ought to be the leader of the party in the state. And the NWC of the party is also saying Governor Fubara is the leader of the party in Rivers State. The question many Nigerians are asking is, why is it hard for most of you to align with this new reality?
I want to ask a simple question. When Governor Fashola was the governor of Lagos State, was he the leader of the party in Lagos State then? Or when Governor Sanwo-Olu was the governor of Lagos State, was he the leader of the party in Lagos State then? The people of Lagos State know their leader. So the people of Rivers State know who their leader is. I'm an adult. So you will be the one to tell me who my leader is. So when I went to the National Secretariat to obtain nomination form to contest to become the national delegate in the forthcoming national convention, it was somebody that walked me to the National Secretariat and advised me to obtain the form. The question is simple. Like you said, our leader, Bode George, said Governor Similala Ifubara ought to be. And if a man ought to be and he decided not to be, is he any of our fault? Politics is a game of interest. You follow where your interest lies. The governor probably has a different interest, a different view of where he wants to achieve his democratic practice. And so for us, we have said clearly that the statement by the governors in their governors forum is a solidarity to their colleague, but they took it too far. Yeah, there's nothing wrong in saying that they will support their colleague. But coming to say that they would tell the NWC to hand over the structure of the party to Governor Similala Ifubara, who knew that they were selling forms to contest an election, who knew that NWC and NEC has approved the date for Congress in Rivers State to be so date, and decided not to participate. Even when in the program of event, he was invited to come and speak to us delegates. He didn't come. His deputy was also invited.
Are you talking about the state congress, Dr. Nwanosike?
Yeah, the state congress, yes. He didn't come. None of them came to the congress. And it shows clearly that the statement he made, that he was disappointed in PDP at the national level and that he is now carrying on with a movement, called Simplify movement, is true. He doesn't have any interest in the People's Democratic Party, especially in Rivers State. So he is busy with building a new party called APP, where he wants to go and take control of, because he is aware that he has long forgotten and abandoned the People's Democratic Party. So because he abandoned the People's Democratic Party, like the then governor, Chibika Amechi, abandoned the People's Democratic Party, so we should fold our hands as politicians and not follow our destiny. So if you answer the question, my sister, of who was the leader of the political parties in Lagos State when Governor Fashola was governor and Governor Sanwo-Olu was governor, then it is simple. who
all right.
the leader
Dr.
of
Wanasike, I'm here to ask the questions and you're here to answer them. But since you started talking about the State Congress, you know, the PDP governors are calling for a review of that Congress, of the outcome of that Congress, to restore Fubara's leadership role in the party. First, is this out of line? And seeing that the governor was absent at that Congress, what does his absence mean? Does it not bother you that the interim order issued by Justice Charles Wike stopping the PDP from holding congresses in the states may invalidate the State Congress? Talk to us about this.
Supreme Court has ruled and settled that matter long ago, madam. That matter has been settled long ago. Congresses are organized by the National Working Committee. And the National Working Committee has no business with your court injunction from one state court. You know, that is the problem with non-politicians. If he was a politician, I mean the governor of Rivers State, Malala Fubara, probably would have gotten the proper advice and would have taken the right steps. So that's not what I will come and say here. For us, as far as we are concerned, the Congress of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State has been done and dusted and has been concluded. What we are waiting for now is the Congress for the Zonal Congress and the National Congress.
So was that Congress authorized by or sanctioned by the NWC of the party? Because, I mean, report says that Congress has caused a dispute between the National Working Committee and the PDP Governors Forum.
Well, the PDP Governors Forum, the PDP governors are not members of the National Working Committee, the NWC. The NWC sanctioned the Congress, sent workers from the National Secretary to come and conduct the Congress, and INEC monitored the Congress, and security agents monitor the Congress. Those are in accordance with our laws. And so every lawful steps we are taking and followed. And don't forget, PDP Congress, State Congress of Rivers State was beamed live, both on your station and your sister stations. And so I don't think we should overflog this issue because it's already overtaken by events.
Yeah, we'll get over it, but, you know, I mean, that's why you're here, to give us more information so Nigerians can know what exactly is happening. So does it now mean that Wike may possibly own River State's PDP executives, while the Governor Fubara will own the incoming local government executives? Is this in the interest of the people of River State?
I don't understand which local government executive Governor Fubara will own. We are saying that him and his supporters did not participate in both the ward, local government, and state congress. For you to participate, the National Secretariat is the only place where nomination forms are sold. Are you saying, man, you will go and give a position to a man who did not show interest in obtaining nomination form? Is that the democracy we want to practice in Nigeria? The answer is no. Those who obtain nomination form has participated in the various congresses, and they have emerged victorious. And so they've been sworn into offices, and we've carried on. And that's the point we are making. So Governor Fubara also, he's not worried because he has gone to APP, a political party that has elephant as his logo. That is the political party he's building now. Because he believes that his Simplified movement has the popularity to fly a new political party in Rivers State. And as the governor, with a lot of resources and capacity, he will win any election he gets involved in. So we'll just wait for that time to come so that this whole matter will be rested.
Dr. Wanasike, let's talk about you for a minute, because you're here, and I mean, here at TVC, we don't do speculations, we don't do assumptions, we deal with facts. So because you're here, we saw a video of you in a heated exchange with officials of River State's Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development after they sued a hotel owned by you for violation of development control and non-compliance with building regulations. What exactly is the true state of things, and has the hotel been reopened?
That matter is in court, so speaking about it here will be sub judice. I will plead that you forgive me. The matter is before the law court of Nigeria, and we'll leave it at that.
All right, let's get back to Rivers PDP. You know, some persons sympathetic to the state governor Governor Fubara have suggested a defection from the PDP following this obvious lack of support from the leadership of the PDP, both at the state and national levels, despite the governor's plight. But it looks like the national level is, changing statistics now. The governor leaves. If the governor leaves for the PDP today, what happens? Is this something the PDP is likely to forfeit?
Well, apart from maybe the governor of Bauchi State who wants to be president of Nigeria come 2027, maybe he is the one that will be very worried if Fubara leads to APP because probably he won't get the financial support he intends to get with the support Governor Fubara is going to give to him, since he has said clearly on a program I watched live from his state that he will teach the current leaders of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how to run a nation. It is clear that from all the activities of the governor of Bauchi State, he has not hidden it that he has the intention to vie for the office of president come 2027. But it is for Nigerians to decide. For us in Rivers State, Governor Fubara has already left for APP. And we, as members of People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, we have seen a lot. We have done an election in 2019 that was between we and the Nigerian states. We have seen an election in 2015 when our principal was not holding any office, was not holding the office of the governor. And by the grace of God, because of the belief and the sincerity that our principal Wike comes with, he's not the man that will tell you A in the morning and the night is acting B. No, he doesn't believe in that. If it is A in the morning, it's A in the afternoon, it's A in the evening, even if it's going to cause him some pain. He's the man that will tell you that for every decision you take in life, there are benefits and there are also disadvantages that will come. So you should be ready to face them when they come. And so, as far as you are concerned, the question you just asked now is belated, because in our state we know what is happening. Similarly, Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, has left for APP. And if anybody is deceiving himself that Fubara is still a member of the People's Democratic Party, maybe it's those who want to woo him back so that they can get the resources from Rivers State to prosecute whatever agenda they have in the future against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But we, in People's Democratic Party, we can assure Nigerians that we are grounded politicians and we have what it takes to win election in our local governments and in our wards and in our states. So we are not perturbed.
But since our last conversation in July, what kind of support are you getting from Ikwere elders and the youths? Because, I remember that in July, Ikwere elders met with Governor Fubara to show their solidarity. We saw a video of them saying River State has only one governor, and as generous and calm as he is, he does not deserve any distractions, and that's why they are solidly behind him. Anyone would interpret this as Minister Wike and yourself losing the support of your own people. So what kind of conversation, what kind of support have you been getting, or are you getting from your local government and the entire community?
First of all, this your question is you want to pitch me against my people. I'm a traditional title holder in my community, and like I said before, anybody can wake up and say you're a leader of a people. The people know who their leader is. And at the appropriate time, the people of Ikwere ethnic nationality will tell you who their leader is. A leader is a man that means well for you, that have done things, tangible things you can see, you can feel, you can hold. And for a people to gather and say, you are Dike Oha, as in you are the greatest among all in the 4 local government that make up Ikwere ethnic nationality. There's only one man that holds that title, and his name is Wike. So I will leave it at this, because your question might want to make me make statements that will create traditional issues. No, we don't want to go there. When it comes to traditional matters, we will do traditional matters. When it comes to political matters, we'll do political matters. But I will say that Governor Fubara has hurt the Ikwere people greatly by the actions he took against one of the brightest equally ethnic nationality that is Chief Sergeant Tawuse, who is the traditional ruler, first-class traditional ruler in charge of the entire Emohwa local government and Emohwa people, who was sacked by Governor Siminala Fubara when he was in coma up there in London, without even asking questions. A man that wrote him 2 letters saying, I am sick, this is my state of health, I need your permission to travel. He approved. When the situation got critical, another letter was written to him, which he agreed to say, this is my position. But for him to come to the public and disgrace that, the disgrace he has given to Chief Sergeant Tawuse is a disgrace to equal ethnic nationality. So no amount of gift that you will give to our people that will solve that problem. When the time comes, we will respond properly to Governor Siminala Fubara.
All right. You know, every time I have a conversation with anyone from any stakeholder from River State, I mean, I always hope for peace so that the people of River State can truly enjoy the dividends of democracy. But I must thank you so much for joining us this evening. Dr. Samuel Wanosike is the former chairman, Ikwere Local Government Area of River State. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Please have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks a lot for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. I'll see you tomorrow.